Good morning and welcome to our Facebook Live today. We are on Wednesday, the 10th of March 2021. My name's Jenny McCormack. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Thank you so much for joining me today. During this week, we have been focusing on the art gallery stamp set, which is this one here, and we have started off with some very simple stamping on Monday and stepped it up yesterday to two-step stamping using the two layers of this stamp set here. Excuse me. So let me show you quickly those cards while people hop on. Trying to move that out of the light. So on Monday we created these two cards. There's this one here where I've just done some simple stamping right the way round the border. Good morning to people who are joining. Let me see who is with us. I can see a few people. So let me see. We've got Monica, Jacqueline and Kerry. So thank you ladies for joining me so far this morning. So this was Monday's card, and the other variation of that one is this one here. So just using the stamps single colour, and this one's I've stamped the flowers in the background, and this one I've worked around the outside of the sentiment. So that was Monday's, and then yesterday's one we stepped it up by doing some two-step stamping, and that's using both layers of this stamp here, the outline one, sorry, the sort of background one and the detailed one. And I did a poll to see which one people preferred because I did a pink one and this red one, and it was about 50-50, but I think the pinks won just slightly. So this one has got bumblebee and real red. The stalk is in pear pizzazz, and I popped this onto a die cut layer from Nature's Thoughts. Hi Jeanette. So that was yesterday. So what I'd like to do today is introduce you to the dies. So there are dies that match the set, and if you're looking in the catalogue for this, you can find this whole suite on page 32, 33 and 34 of our mini catalogue. And you can see that we've got lots of other things that coordinate with it. So as well as the stamp set, we have acetate, we have gold leafing, we have an embossing folder, some stunning papers, and the dies and the stamps. Let me just hop this over onto the other side. Okay, and there's more samples here. So let me talk about the floral gallery dies. The art gallery stamp set is £20. Morning Molly and morning Carol. And as well as the flowers, what I do like on this set in particular is that you get a whole series of sentiments, and two of the dies cut out some sentiment pieces so they fit all of these sentiments here. So obviously the longer one fits congratulations, happy birthday, you're lovely, I'm thinking of you, and then the shorter one will fit good luck, sorry, thank you, I miss you. And with these dies you also get this lettering, just want to say. So let me show you that because I had it here. Here we go. Oops, just knocked that. So this is the lettering that comes out, just want to say. Personally, I think I would use just to say rather than just want to say. So just to say sorry, just to say thank you, just to say happy birthday, I don't know, want always sounds a little bit needy to me. So I'm going to use it as just to say good luck, just to say sorry, etc. So these die cut really easily, and what I like about it is it's one single die that cuts out the words, but the words come out separately. So you don't have to cut them apart. And it does mean if you're clever, you can do a little bit of work to make other words as well. So for example, you could have aunt, A-U-N-T. I'm trying to think of other anagrams now of that. I'll let you work those out. So those are the dies, and then in addition to those we have, as I said, the 2 dies for the sentiments, and then the dies that cut out the leaves, the 2 flower heads, and the mixed flowers. So we're going to be using those a little bit later on. Let me put that one back so I don't lose it. For those of you that know, I have a habit of losing things. So today I thought I would use some square cards and our lovely vellum doilies. So we had these vellum doilies. They come in a pack and they're already pre-cut and embossed. Sometimes you'll find a few bits and pieces that you'll need to poke out, like here, some tiny little bits, but I'm actually going to put my flowers over the top, so I'm going to be using my vellum just as a background for the flowers. And I've chosen Poppy Parade and Highland Heather. Oh, excuse me. So let me just grab Poppy Parade ink pad, so I've got a matching ink pad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the components, die cut them, and then layer them up onto my 2 cards. So I've got some offcuts of paper here, and I'm going to do both of the flowers. So I've got the large flower, and then I've got the smaller flower head here, and then we can see how they look. And then I've already pre-cut some of these sentiment strips ready to add my sentiment onto. So let's do this one first. So I'm going to use the Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape for this one. Let me get my cleaning mat. So I have to say the weather this morning compared to yesterday couldn't be more different. So it's wet, it's windy, it's really not very nice at all. Okay, so just making sure that those are clean. So what I'm going to do for my large flower is I'm going to stamp in Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape. So Highland Heather is my lighter colour. So I'm going to use that for my background of the flower. So I'm taking the large one. And in fact, I decided yesterday it was easier to stamp the darker colour first, as it often is. So I'm going to do it that today. So this is Gorgeous Grape. So just lightly tapping on there, making sure I've got a nice coating. Doesn't really matter where I stamp it because I am going to die cut it. So there's my detailed layer. Hope you can see that okay. Let's move that one out of the way for the minute. Bring this one down. Morning, Carol G. So as you can see, I've had to have my lights on full blast this morning. And then this one is going to go underneath. Well, on top technically. But give the impression of it being underneath because it's a lighter colour. There we go. So that's my flower, and then I'm going to add the stalk. So I've got Pear Pizzazz, but you could use any green, and yep, that'll fit on there. at an angle. There we go. Let's cover up those two ink pads. I am going to stamp a sentiment up, but I'm not quite sure what sentiment I'm going to use just yet. So my idea is to take my Highland Heather square card. So this is 99mm by 99mm, a smidge under 10 centimeters. I'm going to pop my layer on here and then die cut and put my flowers on the top. So for the die cuts for those, nice and simple, I've got this one here for the flower head and this one here for the stalk. So I'm just going to cut those up. Carol, I hope your little dog is okay this morning. I saw your post yesterday. So my die cutting machine's just off to the side, so excuse me while I turn away from the camera. Okay. Sorry, ladies. There we go. Not leave the die behind. Okay, so that's those two dies. So here is my flower head. Here is my leaf. It moved very slightly because I didn't fix it down, but I'm happy with that. I could always stamp a little bit or cut it down a little bit. So my theory is to do something like, so this is just a straightforward card really, but just using the die. So you could fussy cut these, is to add that onto there and then add a sentiment either going across the whole thing. Oh good, Carol, that's good news. So that's my plan. Now what you can do with these vellum doilies is you can colour them. You can colour them with our blending brushes. You can also colour them by putting them straight onto the ink. Okay, so I quite like the light colour of that against there, but you could put this in grape. So what I might do is get another one. I'll try it with this one. So I just want to show you how easy it is to colour by putting it onto the ink pad itself. Let me just grab a spare piece of paper, so I don't really want to put gorgeous grape ink everywhere. So what you can do is just place it on here, and you can use a blending brush if you want, or you could use a stamp pad to press it in. Okay, entirely up to you. Let me use a blending brush. Let me just get that colour to hand, my purple one to hand, and I'm just going to tap in here. Okay, you could also put another piece of paper on the top, but you don't really want to take out too much of the extra ink. So can you see the ink going through onto the vellum? So what you want to do is press it until you get a really nice coating. So if I just lift this off, you see that? Let me just do the other side. It doesn't quite fit on the ink pad in one go. So I do like our vellum doilies. They're really useful to have, and they make a really quick background. Now you could also say just use a blending brush or a sponge or a dauber, so you can see the difference that makes. So I'm just going to put that top bit in. You can see there's a few bits left where I haven't punched them out, but on the basis this is going to be covered by most of the flower, I'm really not too worried. So you can use these doilies absolutely as they are. Lift that up. There you go. So it makes a real difference, doesn't it? And if you've missed a bit, obviously you can go back with your ink and add it, for example. And I'm just going to get my heat gun to dry that off. I wasn't intending on doing that to start with, but why not? This was something different to show you. Just plug this in. Just going to hold this away from the camera slightly, just because of the noise. So because it's vellum, it doesn't soak in quickly, which is why you'll either have to heat it or give it time to dry. Okay, now I know that's not completely dry. Let me move my microphone a bit closer. So I know very often I'm a bit quiet. Okay, that's not completely dry, but it will do for my purpose for today. And what I'm going to do is place that on there. Let me get you back on my phone. Keeps dropping out for some reason. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to stick this down onto my base card. I know it's not completely dry, but I do know that my flower and everything is going to go across. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue straight to my card rather than try and put it onto my vellum, especially as that vellum is wet. So I'm just going to use my seal and know that I'm going to have the flower head sort of up here at the top, like so. And you actually get a matte side and a slightly glossier side. So I'm just going to pop that down, like so. Okay, obviously if you're doing this, let that completely dry, all right, because you don't want to smudge ink everywhere. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is pop this up on dimensionals. So let's do that with these two. Just going to pop 3 dimensions on here. So you could easily use Wink of Stella, you could use some shimmer spray and spray this to make it really pretty and delicate. And all I'm going to do, take the backings off the dimensionals and pop it on here. Just want to see that. Whoop, the foliage is doing a runner. Yes, just make sure that's all going to fit nicely. Could go that way as well. I'm going to do it this way. Like so. And then pop the foliage underneath. So. And then add my sentiment. Okay, so either the large one or the small one, depending on what message you've got. So the sentiments in the set, as I said, there are a lot of them. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 altogether, plus the just want to say. So I think I'm going to make this a thank you again, because you know what I'm like with my thank you cards. It would also make a nice Mothering Sunday card. There we go. So normally I would stamp and then die cut, but to save some time I've die cut these beforehand. Let me just position this in the middle of the block like so. Hope I'm not too far down for you today. So this is the gorgeous grape, but you could pick out the green if you wanted to. Nice crisp typeface. Okay, so there's my thank you. I think I'm going to put it across there. I sort of want it out of the way of that, so I'm going to put a dimensional on this edge and then just a bit of glue on the left hand side. So turn that over so I know that the dimension is going this side. And I'm just going to use an offcut like so, like that. Seeing where it's going to fit. Yeah, and just a little bit of glue on there to hold it in place. So this would be quite an easy card to reproduce in large numbers, rather like the ones we've done this week actually. This stamp set really does lend itself, because it's simple stamping, it really does lend itself. There we go. I'm just conscious of that still being slightly wet. So what I'm going to do is just use that to press that down, rather than my fingers. So there we go, that is our first card. Oh, let's add a bit of bling before I finish. So I think we definitely need the pastel pearls that goes with this. I love these. Looking for my piercing tool, which I can't see. Normally have it attached to my magnet. So I think I'm going to do a mixture, because I've got both colours here. I can't decide. I sort of want to put them on the outside. We'll do. There we go. 3. Voila. And I will add some Wink of Stella to that, to the flower. And remember, if you don't add too much, because you don't want the colours in the ink to run. So just do a little bit at a time and let that dry. Especially where you're going over a dark colour. I don't know if you can see that. It picks up just a little bit of that ink because the ink is water based. And also there's a level of moisture in that card. Not in the card. In the pen, the glitter pen. So there we go. I don't know if you can see the shine on that. It's quite difficult in this light, isn't it? Okay, so there's our gorgeous grape one. Just going to put that to one side, and let's do one with Poppy Parade. Now you could put designer paper behind this as well if you wanted to. You could put an embossing, this through an embossing folder for added detail. For this one, I'm just going to put this one straight down. And I'm going to use, for this one, this stamp here. And I'm going to do it all in the poppy red. So let's grab that out. And stamp it and die cut it. Now you could add some of the leaf behind in green. I'm not sure. So let's just do it as is to start with. Oh, that's what I'm looking for. There was the pink one we did yesterday. I knew it was here somewhere. That was yesterday's pink one. So Poppy Parade. Just switch these over. And I have some card, and if you wanted to, because this is photopolymer, if you wanted a better stamping layer, then use one of our piercing mats underneath, just to give it a little bit of sponge under. So here is Poppy Parade. What I don't know is how much ink is in here. So let's give it a go. Not much at all. Oh, there's a little bit transferring. So I might try my other ink pad if I have it here. Let me have a look. Oh, excellent, Carol. Well, I don't know what weather you've got down there, but if it's like it is here, that's a good thing to be doing on a rather wet, dull day. Let me just get rid of that tiny, oh, there's my paper piercer. That little bit of vellum off my ink pad. So I'm going to do 2 of these. So now these do have another stamp here that you can use for detail. So I'm going to try it with one for maybe using cherry cobbler or something a deeper red. It's very pretty. Let me try cherry cobbler. Let's just move that over. Let's just stamp it there to see what it looks like. Yeah, it's not massively dark against the red, but let us see. So you can use this in various places on your flowers, so you can use it on all of them. So it's not exact on all of them, obviously, because they're all slightly different shapes, but it gives you that sort of two-tone effect. It's going to do the same one here. So I don't know if I'm going to use both of these, but I'll cut both of them out and then decide. There we go. This one reminds me of sort of that Delft look from Holland, which is why I did a blue one in this, because I thought that it looked like that style of artist work. Thank you, Kerry. Right, let me grab the dies for that. If I can release them from the sheet. I'm worried about that disappearing. Okay, so this is going to cut those out like so. And this time I'm going to use a little bit of washi tape to hold it in place. Let's just grab this one, if I can find the end. That's the only thing with washi tape. This is so fine, it's just like a fine paper tape. There we go. Just put it on there to get rid of any excess stickiness. Okay, so I'm placing it on the die, but on the outside of my stamped image. So if any reason it does stick, because obviously when you're putting it through the die cutting machine, it puts extra pressure on the tape. So that way, if it sticks to anything, it'll stick to the outside piece, not my artwork piece. Okay, just going to run that through. Let's have a look and see. That's really pretty, I like that. Not sure I need to. I think I might add a little bit of greenery instead. Actually, you could put that at an angle as well. That looks quite nice, doesn't it? Just for something completely different. Okay, just going to stamp a stalk, or you could die cut a separate stalk if you wanted to. Let's just stamp this one, do a slightly better job at cutting out. I just want to layer the leaves underneath, really. Two in case I need them. There we go. Grab the leaf die cut. It's just disappearing. Let's do this one first. So I may not need the stalk at the top. So positioning that somewhat more accurately than I did the last one. And again, positioning my washi tape just to the outside edge. so just going to run that one through. Should have brought my mini machine out, shouldn't I? That would have been quicker. But we're there now. Okay, let's have a look. Just take that bit out from there. I think what I'm actually going to do is separate these all together. Oops. Something like that. There we go. And then our, so that's definitely too big. It's definitely a smaller one needed for this one to go across there. So quite different. I think I prefer this one, but this one's a slightly different scale, so just goes to show, doesn't it? So let's pop this layer down. The other thing you can do with these is you could coat them in Versamark and gold emboss them. That would be really stunning behind here to have the gold embossed one. Let us find our glue. That's what I'm after. So just again putting some in the centre, like that. I've got an odd bit of vellum poked in there. Get rid of that. Okay. So adding that back in, and what I'm going to do is pop this up on dimensionals, and then I can tuck the leaves in underneath. I might add some more leaves. And that's that one done. There we go. Just add a little bit along this leaf here. Just a little bit too long. I don't want the bits of white showing, and then I put it down with the white in the way. Tease it away from that. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Like so. What I'm going to do is snip that off. Same with this one. I might cut out a few more leaves and add them in. Just work out where they're going to go. Just thinking like that. like that, something like that. Come out. Phew, excuse me. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of wet glue to the back of those. Just a little bit, because I only need them just to hold in place, really. And then you can decide which bit of the leaf you want popping out and where. There we go. Oh, thank you, Jacqueline. I didn't even have time to let you know I was about to sneeze, did I? Sorry. There we go. That's just separating it from the bit underneath. And then let's have another thank you on there. And I'm going to stamp that. I think I'm going to stamp it in Poppy Parade. So tomorrow I'm going to be introducing the papers and the acetate. So the papers for this suite are stunning in their own right. They're the sort of thing that you could just mount on a wall in a frame. There we go. It's going to go across there. And again, dimensional on the right and a little glue on the left hand side. Like that. There we go. Let's move this out of the way now. There we are. And a bit of bling to finish that one off. So very different look from yesterday and from Monday. There we go. Let's add some bling to that. Now, I do like red and gold together. I always think that looks nice. But let me see if what else I've got in red. So, got these deep red gems. I've got these ones. Could use the white actually. They would look quite nice. Otherwise, the red's not really going to stand out, is it? So, let's add this. One, two, and three. There we go. So quite different, the two of them. I'm quite liking this one. It feels like it's actually a better size for the square card, whereas this one now feels a bit crowded. It's funny because when I first started I thought that looked better, but there you go. Have a play. So that is more of the art gallery. So this is the stamp set. We've introduced some of the dies, so we've die cut these and the flowers. We've die cut the sentiment blocks like here, and as I said, it's got just want to say as well. So we'll be using that tomorrow along with the papers and the acetate. So that's the wording. as I say, I like just to say rather than just want to say, but that's just me. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me this rather wet morning here. I hope you've enjoyed those. Something slightly different. Thank you, Jeanette. Do let me know whether you like the large flower or the smaller flowers. I'm veering towards this one, that's for sure, but you know, they just have different things. I like the dark doily, but then I like this one here, so there you go. Who knows? So thank you so much for joining me today. I will be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. UK time. That's Thursday, and the same on Friday. So live at 5 in the UK. So I hope you're able to join me. I do hope you have a good week the next couple of days if you're not able to join me. And I look forward to crafting with you again soon. Please take care, look after yourselves and look after your loved ones. Thank you so much. Bye for now, everyone.